to talk to you guys about 3 current Barcelona players and give you guys my take and my opinion on whether I believe they should be wearing a Barca shirt come next season or not. And those 3 players are Raphinha, Joao Cancelo, and Joao Felix. Over the past couple of days and weeks, Raphinha has been heavily linked to teams in the Saudi League. And a couple of days back, it was reported that Al Hilal, a team in the Saudi League, would be willing to offer Barcelona 100 million for Raphinha come the summertime. My take on that whole situation and Raphinha as a player in this video, and also Joao Cancelo and Joao Felix, both on loan. Should Barca bring them back for 1 more year on loan? Should they bring them back permanently? Should they just let them go back to their original team? So my take on those 3 guys and what I believe is going to happen come the summertime and whether I want to see them come back or not. And whatever you guys agree or disagree with, let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, let's get into this. Starting off with Raphinha. The 27-year-old Brazilian international, in my opinion, is one of the most polarizing players at Barcelona right now. If you poll 100 Barca fans and ask them, what do you think about Raphinha? 50 will say they love him, 50 will say he's overrated and they want him to leave. I'm more on I love him side. I think Raphinha is a really good player. And I think he's been really unfairly scrutinized since he got to Barca. People are calling him a flop. Raphinha has not been a flop. Now, has he been worth 65 million that we pay for him? Not necessarily, but also, I think he's delivered, bro. I mean, last year had 10 goals and 12 assists in all comps. 22 GA is great. And this season, quietly, having 10 goals and 5 goals and 10 assists. 15 GA, and it's not even April yet. And quietly, he's been one of the most productive players in the world at his position. And I get that GA is not everything, but it's something. I mean, the output matters, and Raphinha has output. And he has a lot of good qualities, man. Raphinha's tenacious, he works hard, he's a good dribbler, he has a good shot on him, his work rate is good, he's always on the, he's giving it his all every time he's on the pitch, man. Also, he has some bad things as well. He's inconsistent as fuck, and he struggles to take players on one-on-one at times. Like, Raphinha has games where he looks like the best player in the world, and he has games where he looks like shit. It's like an ebb and flow thing. Against Shakhtar Donetsk this year, I've talked about it 1,000 times already, but I'll say it one more time. Against Shakhtar Donetsk this year, in the away game in the UCL, he was shit. Kept losing the ball constantly, could not take players on one-on-one. He looked like a fish out of water in that game. But recently, he's been playing well. Like, Barca, when Raphinha got injured, Barca were looking bad. And since he's come back, we've looked a lot better, bro. And he's looked good against Napoli, played on the left wing. Everybody said Raphinha can't play on the left wing, he's shit over there. And he played on the left wing against Napoli in the second leg and was really, really good. One of our best players in that game, in my opinion. Against Atletico Madrid on the weekend was really good. Against Getafe in the 4-0 was really, really good. Raphinha is a good player, bro. Don't let people tell you otherwise. He's not overrated. Again, is he worth the 65, 70 million that we paid for him? I wouldn't say yes, but I also would not say no. I really like Raphinha as a player. But again, there's a but here. For 100 million, you sell him. 100 million is a lot of money. For Barca, for any team, but especially for Barca, we could use that money. And unfortunately, Raphinha, for me, is not an untouchable. Here are my Barca untouchables. We're not selling no matter what. Lamine Yamal. Obviously, we know that. We got the report a couple days back that Joan Laporta rejected 200 million for Lamine Yamal, and that's rightfully so. Not even 500 million for Lamine Yamal. He's 16 years old and one of the most promising youngsters in the history of football. He's going to win multiple Ballon d'Ors. Lamine Yamal is staying. Pau Cubarsí is staying. Araujo, future captain, he's staying. Pedri, Gavi, they're staying. Frankie de Jong, he's staying. Those to me are the 6 Barca untouchables and the 6 pieces that you build on, the 6 core pieces. Raphinha, unfortunately, is not on that boat. Raphinha currently, his position, he lost his position to a 16-year-old. And that's not an insult to Raphinha, that's more of a compliment to Lamine Yamal, who's simply, like I said, one of the most promising and best youngsters football's ever seen. But it's good to have a guy like Raphinha competing for that position with Lamine Yamal. Like, it's good to have him there. But again, if someone wants to offer 100 million for him, you let him go. If you can get $30 million back than what you paid for Raphinha, that is a deal, bro. You sell him and you say, good riddance, goodbye, thank you for everything, but we gotta let you go. It's business, bro. But if someone's offering you 40 or 30 million for Raphinha, no fucking way. Do not sell him for pennies on the dollar because this guy can still come good. Raphinha is not young, but he's not old by any means. He's 27. That theoretically should be his prime. So we could be seeing Raphinha enter another, like he could reach a new level or like get to a new gear in his career. You know, he still has another gear to get to. So we could see that happening. And again, like I said, this year he's been good, man. He's been contributing to the team, and I think that in the final stretch of the season, obviously in the UCL and the La Liga games, he's going to be a very pivotal player for us. So I want to see Raphinha again. If we can get 100 million for him from Al Hilal, you let him go. But if it's anything less than maybe, like if we're going to take a loss on Raphinha, there's no need to let him go. We did that with Kessie. Remember, we let Kessie go for 12 million because obviously we needed the money. And then we bring in Romeo. We're like, oh, we sold Kessie for 12, we bought Romeo for 5. It's a steal. Romeo's the better player. And then it turns out Romeo's nowhere near the better player. He's actually kind of shit. and we're looking like, why do we sell Kessie in the first place? Again, we need the money, but that value that we don't even, like, we haven't had a pivot all year. Can you imagine how much Kessie would help this team coming off the bench? So again, to let Raphinha go for 20 million and bring in a replacement is going to be shit. There's no need for that, bro. But if you can get 100 million, you take the 100 million. I'm sorry, I'm sure more sports fans agree with me on this. You take the 100 million if they're offering it, if the team in the Saudi League is offering it, because again, getting 100 million for a player is rare and we need the money right now. So that's my take on Raphinha. If it's for 100 million, you let him go. But if you're going to take a loss on him, there's no need to, because again, he's been a productive player this year and he still has another year he can get to, in my opinion. And he's a very good player, again, to me at least. I don't know how you guys feel. You can let me know in the comment section. But to me, Raphinha is a very good player. Now we're moving on to the two Joaos. Joao Cancelo and Joao Felix. First up, Joao Cancelo. He gave an interview like today or yesterday talking about Pep Guardiola, and like he was just not talking nice about Man City or Pep Guardiola. He said that apparently Pep Guardiola tried to slander his name and said he was not getting along with teammates, and he said that he always gets along well with teammates, it's not his fault, and like Pep was talking shit. So obviously that relationship is sour. Pep and Joao Cancelo do not get along. And one thing that I know about Pep, watching him at Barca and watching him throughout his career, once you get sour with Pep, there's no coming back. It happened with Yaya Toure, it happened with Eto'o, it happened with Henry. Once you go, it happened with Zlatan. Once you go sour with Pep, there's no coming back. So he actually helped us out there, because him going out and publicly like saying that that's not true and like saying that Pep was talking shit, it helps us get a bargain on him, because now we know Man City are not bringing him back, and we know that we can get him for cheaper because that club does not want him. Pep does not want him. We want him. They don't want him. So we can actually get a cheaper deal for him, because now we know that like Man City's not gonna fight, like they're not gonna say give us 70 million for him because he's important to us. They're gonna be like, oh, just let him, like, get rid of him. We don't want this guy anywhere near the squad, because again, he doesn't get along well with the manager. So if that, like, obviously that's great for us, because I think we can get Joao Cancelo on very cheap. I'm talking like maybe 20 million, maybe less than that. And that's, again, for one of the best fullbacks, like, to me, still in world football. Joao Cancelo this year has not been perfect, obviously, on the pitch. Defensively, he has a lot of struggles still. His awareness and his positioning sometimes is kind of infuriating. But going forward, like, past the halfway line, he's still one of the best in the world, and he's shown it this year. He obviously scored the goal against Napoli. He's been fantastic throughout the majority of the season, honestly, going forward. His crossing ability is great. His dribbling ability is great. His ability to play off from the back is fantastic. He can invert into the midfield and obviously cause those overloads on there. So I like Joao Cancelo. I think he's a really, really good player. And if we can get him for cheap, you keep him, bro. Like, we obviously have Koundé playing right back. He can play right back as well. We have Hector Ford's also an up-and-coming right back for Barca, so he's going to get a lot more time on the first team next year. You obviously have Araujo and Christensen or Cubarsí as the center backs. And then left back, it's Balde, who was not good this year, and then also Cancelo. I think, to me, that's pretty good, man. You have competition there, obviously, in that position between Cancelo and Balde, two guys who are very good going forward. Not great defensively, but they can obviously fight for that position. And Balde needs competition, bro. We've seen this year. Like, Balde can't just walk into the season as the unquestioned, like, starter, because he hasn't performed well this year. And obviously now, per se, he's injured. He's going to come back next year. But this year, when Balde was playing, he was not that great. Once Cancelo, he needs that competition from a veteran who can obviously push him all the way. I think Cancelo would be good for that. So again, I want to see Joao Cancelo come back, because I think we can get him for cheap. Because again, that interview today with Fabrizio Romano talking about Pep did not help Man City's case whatsoever in getting a good price for him, or getting him on or getting Barca to overpay for him, I should say. Because Barca are not going to overpay for a player that we know doesn't want to be there anymore. So that's obviously great news for us. So that's my take on Joao Cancelo. Again, bring him back, and we can get him for cheap. So rightfully so, you bring him back, and this guy's still, to me, one of the best fullbacks in football, and he's shown it this year. And now, finally, we're going to finish up with Joao Felix. Apparently, Cholo Simeone wants to know if what's going to happen with him, because they want to see if they want to see if Barca are going to bring him back, because whether or not he should bring him on the preseason tour with Atletico Madrid, or whether he should go on the preseason tour with Barca, a bunch of shit, whatever. Joao Felix, is he going to come back or not? Here's my take on Joao Felix. He's inconsistent as fuck. And if we have to pay too much money for him, you don't bring him back. If Atletico Madrid really wants 60, 70, even 80 million for Joao Felix, bye-bye. Never. You're never paying that shit for him. Barca are already too bad in a financial situation. You're not paying 80 million or 70 million, or let alone 80 fucking million, or let alone 60 million for Joao Felix. I don't care. Anything above 25 million is too much for Joao Felix. I'm being honest. 26 is too much. You let him go back. If they want 25 for him, or 20 for a guy who's shown potential still in his career, and he's still really, really, really young, and he could get, we were still hoping he can reach that ceiling that he has, obviously, then maybe you bring him back, and obviously, it doesn't hurt to have that depth in the attack. But for 70 million, no. No, especially helping a direct rival, and Atletico Madrid just basically fleece you after we let them have Griezmann for 20 million. We gave them Griezmann for 20. Griezmann is 100 times the player that Joao Felix is. And Griezmann, since he went back to Atletico Madrid, has been one of the best players in the world. So we gave him a deal with Griezmann. We gave him back for 20 million when we paid 120 for fucking Griezmann. We lost 100 million on the Griezmann deal. We're not giving them a deal with Joao Cancelo. Fuck that. Give them, like, if they want 25 at max, I'm being generous for 25. If they want 20, 15 million for Joao Felix, take him, because the kid has potential, and he's shown it this year. He's really inconsistent, but he's shown that he has potential. Against Atletico Madrid, scored twice. Against Antwerp and Betis, both of his first games looked fantastic. But other than that, I mean, he's just up and down. You really never know what Joao Felix you're going to get coming off the bench or starting. It's like Raphinha, but I think Raphinha has a little bit more potential. Like, I think Raphinha is better, in my opinion, at least. People might disagree. I think Raphinha is better than Joao Felix, but again, that's just my take. But yeah, again, for me, Joao Felix, he's just like, I don't know. I just don't want Barca I don't want Barca to go through another Coutinho or Dembele situation where you're overpaying for a player and then we know it doesn't end up working out. Because yes, potential is there, but again, what we've seen from him, what we've seen from Joao Felix at Atletico Madrid and Chelsea and now Barcelona, like, everything post Benfica has not been good. He's not been the golden boy winner that we saw coming out of Benfica, where he scored over 25 goals in all comps, or I think over 20 goals in all comps. That was what got him that big money move to Atletico Madrid, and since then he's not been great. So again, to me, Joao Felix, 70 million for him is absurd, 80 million is stupid, 60 million is stupid, 50, 40, 30. Basically, like I said, anything above 25 is stupid, even 25 is pushing it. But if Atletico Madrid want to give us a deal and we can bring him back, then sure, let him come back. But again, there's no need to overpay for this guy. No need, because Barca, again, we have Lamine Yamal, we have Ferran Torres, we have Raphinha, we can bring in some guys during the summertime. We still have La Masia, which obviously we don't need to panic, because we've seen that La Masia, every time we need something, we need a player, they can just come up and make an impact right away, because La Masia is a fucking factory when it comes to football talent, and we've seen it this year. So again, for me, I don't think Barca should rush anything with Joao Felix, because it's just not worth it, man. I don't want us to get fleeced by Atletico Madrid, a direct rival, and then we're looking like, oh, we paid 70 million. Well, Barca already fucked financially, and paying 70 million for Joao Felix was not proven anything. Like, he's not proven to be even worth, like, he's not worth 70 million. We've seen that this year. Barca fans, we've seen it this year. He's not worth 70 million. But again, for 25 or under 25, happily take that. But again, that's just my take on those three guys. Raphinha, for 100 million, you let him leave. But for anything less than basically 60 or 70 million, you stay, because he's been good for us. Joao Cancelo, look to bring him back, and I think he's going to come back. And Joao Felix, do not overpay for him, because that's stupid in my opinion. Again, that's my take on those three guys. Whatever you guys agree or disagree with, let me know in the comment section. I love every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.